We've locked down the operating system, but how do we protect our data when it's flying through the air? We're now diving into wireless security. This is your rapid-fire review of Objective 2.3. First, let's talk about authentication in a corporate environment. Instead of each Wi-Fi access point having its own password list, companies use centralized authentication servers. This is called the AAA framework. Authentication, proving you are who you say you are. Authorization, defining what you can access. And accounting, tracking your activity. The most common AAA protocol you'll see is Radius, the Remote Authentication Dial-In User Service. Think of Radius as the main gatekeeper. Your Wi-Fi, VPN, and switches all call the central Radius server to verify your credentials. A similar but less common protocol, heavily associated with Cisco hardware, is TACACS+. Inside a Microsoft Windows domain, the king of authentication is Kerberos. Kerberos enables single sign-on, or SSO. It works like a fast pass at an amusement park. You log in once, and the Kerberos ticket granting service gives you a special service ticket. You then show this ticket to all other network resources, like file servers, to gain access without ever typing your password again. It provides mutual authentication, meaning both you and the server prove your identities to each other. Of course, a password alone isn't enough. We need multi-factor authentication, or MFA, which combines different types of factors. These are something you know, a password, something you have, your phone, something you are, a fingerprint, where you are, your location, and something you do, your signature. Now, for the wireless connection itself, we need protocols and encryption. Wi-Fi has evolved significantly. The original was WEP, which was deeply flawed and is now obsolete. The emergency replacement was WPA, which introduced an encryption protocol called TKIP. TKIP was a crucial stopgap because it could run on older hardware that couldn't handle stronger encryption. The long-term standard became WPA2, which upgraded our encryption to the powerful Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES. AES is the strong modern encryption we rely on, but it often required new hardware. The latest and most secure standard is WPA3, which still uses AES, but strengthens the initial key exchange and can even provide encryption on open public networks. Finally, how you connect depends on the environment. For home use, you use a pre-shared key, also called WPA2 or WPA3 Personal. This is like the key to your front door. Everyone shares the same password. In a corporate environment, you use Enterprise Mode, also known as 802.1. This requires a unique username and password for every single user, which is then checked against a central authentication server, usually Radius. This is like using a personal key card tracked by a central security system, giving the company granular control over who can access the wireless network. To recap, centralized authentication is handled by AAA servers using protocols like Radius. In Windows domains, Kerberos provides single sign-on using a ticket-based system. MFA strengthens security by combining different factor types, something you know, have, are, where you are, or do. The evolution of wireless encryption is WEP to WPA with TKIP to the modern standards of WPA2 and WPA3, which both use the strong AES encryption. For authentication, home networks use a single pre-shared key, PSK. Corporate networks use Enterprise Mode, 802.1, which requires a unique username and password for each user, authenticated by a Radius server.